Hey everybody, it's Rob here with the Season 8 Campfire Chat coming up here this Friday at 11 p.m. PST. I want to talk about features that I hope are coming to Diablo 4. Starting with number one, and in my opinion, the most important topic is the end game. Season 7 basically has been the fastest ever to complete all the content in the game. So going forward, I would really love to see a real focus on Diablo 4's endgame systems. Obviously, completely new endgame activities would be great, but do take a lot of work. Short term though, I feel a lot can be improved with the already existing systems in the game. I already took some notes here, which I'm gonna link below in the description as well. This is my cheat sheet. And first, I feel rewards and incentive needs to be significantly improved or maybe even reworked in the higher pits here. For example, they could completely uncap the glyphs or at least make them to be leveled to level 150. Right now, they cap out at 100. This would be basically prolonging the grind that you can do there, and it would also give you a high incentive to do the highest pits to have a chance to level your glyphs. I think there should also be a higher chance to get either ancestrals or at least some special drops for the highest pit. Maybe they could even make it, the first time you clear pit 150, it just drops you a Resplendent Spark, or it gives you like an achievement and it gives you like a guaranteed Uber Unique or something cool, to make it rewarding to the high pits at least once. Then also, I think they should uncap the pit system or make it so that we can never ever reach the highest pits. In my opinion, the hardest content here should never be a speedrun. Like 3 minutes for the hardest content is completely ridiculous, in my opinion. Also, they could bring back or introduce a leaderboard back into the game. So we would have a solo leaderboard for all the classes and a 2, 3, and 4 player leaderboard here. We already had these leaderboards in the past for the Abattoir of Zir, but they did for the Gauntlet, but they did remove that. So hopefully we can get something similar to this for the pits. And I think Adam Fletcher on X already hinted that this might be in the works. Then we can talk about the world tiers here. It would be cool if they add T5 or T6 world tier, or even rebalance the existing torment levels that we have, because the hardest world tier right now, which is T4, is like equally to pit 65, and every class can basically speedrun that. So in the end, a world tier that should be around like pit level 100 difficulty, I feel, should at least be there. Add a cool reward for reaching Paragon 300, or at least some incentive like a cool mount, an in-game flow, like, something like visually cool that you can show off in town if you want. But it should not give you any kind of power. Just basically like a really cool visual way beyond what we have at the moment. The next one here would be really cool if they could bring back the Abattoir of Zir, or the Tears in combination with the Tears of Bloodglyph. I feel this would even be cool for the mid-season. I remember like we got these like surprises in Season 2 and Season 3. They added content. Like the content might have not been, the most well received with the Gauntlet, but at least they tried by introducing new content. And I feel like after Season 3, they completely stopped adding any sort of content in the mid-season patch, right? So the Abattoir of Zir was a very welcome change for many players during Season 2. And I feel like them just enabling it, like, in the mid-season patch that is hopefully coming, that would already be a big win, in my opinion, and would give you some stuff to do and some additional ways to challenge your characters. And then they could also add another wing or some new content to the Dark Citadel. I feel like every season they could add like a new raid with some extra difficulty, or make like a really hard mode with a high chance to drop a mythic or something similar. So this is as far as the end game goes. Obviously, like completely new systems in the end game, like, I don't know, an arena system or something would always be appreciated. But that's gonna take some extra time. Before we get started with the video, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, CyberGhost VPN, one of the best ways to browse the internet safely. A VPN basically allows you to stay completely anonymous by masking your IP address and geolocating it on servers all over the world. And this comes in really handy with many advantages. If you, for example, have a streaming membership, for example, on Amazon, Netflix, or any similar services, you can unlock new and geo-block content in your region. Here in Germany, for example, a lot of YouTube videos, movies, and sometimes even sport events are restricted. And by simply connecting to one of the many fast servers, as you can see here, I can just click United States here, for example, and say connect. And boom, I'm connected now. And I can be in the United States and access all content there, and no one can track me back to Germany. You can even use CyberGhost to book a hotel or a flight, or simply to buy a video game from another country, often at a juicy discount. But that's not all. CyberGhost VPN hides your IP address and protects your personal information, especially when traveling at airports or big conventions like Gamescom, where you access a lot of public networks. CyberGhost keeps you safe. On top of that, they have a 24/7 customer support, as well as a 45-day money-back guarantee, no logs policy. And the best part, my friends, with my link on the screen here and down in the description, you can get CyberGhost at an 83% discount plus 4 months for free. And that means you get CyberGhost VPN for just €2.03 per month. And you can use it for up to 7 devices at once. Perfect for sharing with family and friends. CyberGhost also works on Android, iOS, PC, consoles, and even smart TVs. So don't wait, click the link in the description, grab this amazing deal and start browsing safely now with CyberGhost VPN. By signing up, you'll also support this channel. Thanks a lot, and now on with the video. Coming in at number 2 here for me would be class balance. We really need to get away from having 1 or 2 super OP overperforming builds per season that like 10 or in some situations even 100 or 1000x, the next strongest builds. Right now we have some obvious offenders here. If we look at the pit leaderboards, we have the Bloodwave Necromancer that's flying sky high. We have the Cataclysm Druid that is speed farming, and we have the Earthquake Barbarian. And basically all of this, then we have the Sorcerer doing 150 as well, but this is the bugged build. But these 3 that I just mentioned here are like legit builds, and they are overperforming way too much. And I think we need like a heavily balanced patch where we maybe need to set like a target goal, like maybe every build should be able to complete like pit 120 or pit 130, whatever they want to do. And you're never going to have a perfect balance, but builds should not do like 100 or 1000x. Like maybe the builds are within like, double damage off each other or something. I think this balance can be achieved pretty comfortably without even changing all too much. But it basically feels bad right now if you want to play Barbarian and you're playing anything else, but the Earthquake Barb, like you're basically just scuffing yourself. Like no other build is really viable. And this is the case on many classes. And I feel we really need to get away from that and get a more fair balance for everybody. On number 3 here, I have Itemization. Now, they've already did a lot of that in Season 4. However, I feel there are still a lot of things that can be changed here with Itemization. This one also goes into a lot of quality of life changes that I will be addressing next with a loot filter and stuff. But there are some other changes I think that could be very easy to help us with the Itemization. One example would, for example, be on the masterworking reset here. At different tiers, like you have the masterworking tiers level 4, 8, and 12, where you get like a random reset of the stats. And wouldn't it be great if you could have some checkpoints, if I can say, instead of reset the masterworking ranks all the way to level 0, wouldn't it be cool if I could reset to level 4 and to level 8, like those 2 checkpoints, so the amount of RNG and the crazy amount of materials it would cost here to masterwork this would significantly decrease. So I already on this item have a double hit on damage reduction while unstoppable, and now I could just reset the last rank, like the 12 out of 12, go to 8 out of 12, and then obviously the all stat was the last hit here, and then masterwork again with another 25 chance basically to hit the right amount. And they could adjust the amount of Optoxide and stuff that it costs to do that, this special reset, but it just at least removes this crazy RNG where you're not getting, the triple crit that you want in so many rolls here. So that would help a lot, I feel. They can also buff the Obolos gambling chances. They already addressed this like a little bit in the video. Like basically, when you gamble something here, it's basically like very unlikely to get a good item now, and they significantly reduced the chances to get a good item from last season. So I hope they rework that change because I don't really like it. Then another thing that goes into itemization is remove the unfun caps that the game puts on us. One good example here would be the movement speed cap. Movement speed is capped at 200%, and many builds like have it very easily, at least with temporary buffs, to go over this movement speed. And this was further add to itemization, like maybe movement speed on the amulet at some point would be a viable option, and other items that give movement speed like Turel's Might and even passives and temporary buffs would have a much higher play if movement speed could exceed the 200%. And I think that would also give a lot more fun for the game. We had this in D3 where we could be like like a demon hunter with 500% movement speed, or even a barbarian here at like high movement speed. I think that would be a ton of fun. And this is just anti-fun caps, I feel, that should be removed. And then another cool thing that I would like to see about itemization is obviously like dedicated tabs. This one also goes in the quality of life. But I think what also would be cool is if there would be a way with some of these tributes here. I have a lot of boss summoning material tributes, for example, but I really want, refinement tributes for the masterwork materials. So wouldn't it be cool to have like either some sort of conversion here or something where I can take, 3 tributes, 3 rare tributes that I don't need, like 3 rune tributes, and then transfer them into like a tribute of refinement or something like that. Like there could be a lot of more cool stuff basically done with all of this. Then coming in on number 4, we have a quality of life changes. So this one goes a bit hand in hand with some of the points that I was talking about here regarding the itemization. But the biggest one here is the option for a loot filter. And this could be basically very simple. They recently addressed this in the videos, so we're going to give more feedback on the loot filter because apparently it has not been enough feedback. I feel like people have been very vocal about wanting a loot filter for a lot of times. But basically, the easiest way, if they don't want to build or don't have the time or the power to make a dedicated loot filter, just have under options, under gameplay, have a check mark here that would allow you to automatically salvage gear that is not ancestral. So you wouldn't even see it, just the same way you don't see yellow and blue and white items drop in Torment 4, right? So when you drop like let's say this was a normal legendary, the pet would just auto-salvage it, just the way it already works. And then when there's an ancestral, like you can click it, right? So it would just be a simple filter, like automatically salvage non-ancestral gear, and then convert it into materials right away. And again, the functionality exists for blue, yellow, and white items on the higher difficulties. That would be the easiest opt-in loot filter I think they could do, and that would be immensely appreciated for, I think, a majority of the community. I don't even see a downside of that because it would be opt-in. Also, what I think needs to be done at some point here is increase the cap size of all these consumable and keys. I do not understand like why some of them stack to 20, like, you're using like Ancient Times, Soothing Spices, they stack to 20. Then some of them, like the boss materials, stack to 50. And then some others, they stack to 99. And then some others don't stack at all. I feel like they should all at least stack to 999. So you can like, put these together and stuff like that. And then here, like this one stacks to 20 again. It just doesn't make sense. I feel they should all have a much higher cap, and that would also help a lot, obviously, with stash management. And yeah, one other thing is obviously add more stash space. Now, this might be a bit hard in terms of the coding, but we need something done, or at least add dedicated stash tabs. I would love to have, a dedicated rune tab, because right now we have more runes than fit in the inventory, and it's just a nightmare with the runes and some other stuff. So just have dedicated stashes, at least for some of those, and maybe even a dedicated, key or consumable stash tab. That would be great. Other things here are also in general just summoning materials, keys, and maybe even a legendary or ancestral tab. Like we are just like so positively impacted by PoE, where they have like some very cool and innovative stash management here. More clan features would be great. Like right now, people are not really using the clan features all too much here. I feel like we could have so much more, like a clan stash tab, a clan chest, maybe even some clan events, maybe some clan achievements, just something that encourages you, to play together with your clan members and have some fun together. What would also be very nice if you click on the vendor here is a sell all button. You know, like we don't really have this at all. Like we have a salvage all button, but we don't have like a sell all button. And some people don't want to salvage, but rather sell the gear. So that would be an easy add. Then the next thing is here in the target dummy area in the training grounds. I think it would be great to have like some sort of DPS meter that tracks the damage per second or tracks the max hit that you're doing to much more comfortably test stuff and get some data if your build is, you know, stronger, or if a change that you're making is worth it or not. DPS meter I think would be pretty comfortable to add. And then obviously like a blacksmith when you're doing the Uber bosses. It would be very nice to have a blacksmith at the summoning altar of all the Uber bosses to just not have to go to town, and there's still this bug where your items drop off the floor, and just have one of the blacksmiths there to just instantly salvage the gear when you're doing like a big Duriel or Uber rotation. Then another option would be cool if you're in a party. You know, it works like this in D3. You can basically right-click a player and then just say teleport to player. This would be tremendously helpful. I have this a lot, for example, when you're doing the new witch tides. I don't know, you're going to town or something, you're salvaging, but then you want to teleport back to your teammates. But you can't really do that because you can't teleport to the player here from the Tree of Whisper. Like this one doesn't even have an option to, you know, teleport to your party members. Because this is like not a normal city, quote unquote. So I think it would be really cool if you can just have like right click, teleport to player kind of thing right there. That would be super cool. And then last but not least, we basically have new features. Now they could go super ham here, but these are like long-term changes. People are asking a lot for like a trade market / auction house to more efficiently trade their gear, to not go to like a third party program or software or whatever to like trade. There's been like a lot of like negative impacts with the dupes, and then people are getting scammed and losing their items and items poof. I feel like it would be great if Blizzard at least solves, you know, the material trading, like the key trading, like runes trading, at least like the currency items should be tradable in-game, in my opinion. And then obviously new endgame activities, like there are a lot of possible things here. One of the activities that I'm kind of missing is like an arena mode with like, I don't know, infinite waves of monsters coming at you, and then the deeper you go, you get more and more rewards. But you can go completely ham here. There are so many ideas for extra endgame activities and stuff that they could do here to make the game better. They could even, you know, get inspired by other games like Path of Exile or Last Epoch. There's like a ton of stuff out there. I don't think they have to reinvent the wheel every time. They could just do some of these popular endgame activities, you know, Diablo style, and I feel the community would love that. But yeah, this is a lot of changes. Hopefully some of them are gonna make it into the game. I'm gonna be live streaming here the Campfire on Friday, and then also we'll learn about the PTR. And my best guess is that the PTR is basically starting right after the Campfire. So we have the Campfire coming on the 7th, and then I would say the PTR starts usually on Tuesday and then lasts for a week. So on the 11th, guys, we will already be blasting on the PTR, and I'm looking forward to see all these balance changes and what they have in store for us. Let me know in the comments what you think or what your #1 desire is for the new season. Hope you enjoyed the overview, guys, and keep in mind, it's just my opinion. They might differ. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon. GG. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.